When eminent people like Dr. Butch talk about the things in a very nice manner, which we technical people are generally not prepared for. Coming to the basic fact, computer, IQ 0. You talk about artificial intelligence and everything you talk about. Why you talk about sunshine facilities and all that? Because you are not able to replace finally the human who is behind it. He is the most important part. What we are doing actually is providing tools to improve what they can do. If you think about, while I was a student at IIT Kharagpur, IIT's main computer had a RAM of 512 kilobytes. Today, my mobile has multifold that, 4 GB RAM. This is a development which is happening on computing power. As on today, any of your smartphone is probably far more powerful than the mainframe machines which were coming way back 30-40 years. Now, as a doctor, you need to maintain record of a patient, which the traditional method, you write down a prescription, you do some notes of yours when you examine a patient. This all processes creates a paperwork which you will like to refer whenever patient comes, because it is humanly not possible when you are treating more number of patients to remember everything perfectly, and you are likely to make mistakes. And that is the reason why paper records were considered important. And we started our journey from our paper records. Now, electronic medical record can be just a Word file. Word file itself can replace. But why do we need something more than this? Today, you like to do analysis of what has been the different type of patients coming, what is the medication which you are giving to them, what are the results which you get out of the medication, and you will like to base your future prescription based on what are the outputs which you are getting. It is a feedback loop which you want to run. And for that, you should be able to do it. Other side, you also have a certain issues. For you, your time is very important. You like to do effectively treatment of... Hello? Okay. I think, is it okay? Right. You like to treat your patient with a kind of a situation that you should have a minimum time but least amount of error, and whatever you are doing, whatever feedbacks from that coming during the next visit, all this you like to track. You'll also like to make your medications to be quickly decided, and those records of the patient should be available during the next visit. You will also like that all patient records are available when you are examining the patient in a much easier way so that you save your time. And that is where EMR comes in. We also need that patient is able to manage his own appointments in an easy way. We need that patient is able to see his medical records. Now, when you want to do this kind of things, you need a simple but a sophisticated systems. And this is where we come with various solutions on EMR. Now, these solutions are different types. There are certain which are in a proprietary nature, where you do not have access to modify. You have certain solutions which are cloud-based. There are certain solutions which you can install on your computers and distribute in your hospital through your local area network. Now, you also need certain other facilities which you need to do. You need to track your assets. You need to track what is happening about hospital occupancy rates. You need to track, like what Dr. Butch was talking about, getting better experience, what is happening there. And now all these kind of things, you have, as on today, a lot of sensors which you can get the data. But one of the major issue which is there, getting everything in a single place. Like I had one experience. I was in one very good hospital. I underwent a surgery and then I was to be discharged. Now discharge procedures took 4 hours. Now why it takes this? Because you have an island of a systems. Every system is excellent, but they operate in islands. You have a separate accounting system, separately run pharmacy, separately run nursing dashboard. Now, this kind of a things when you have, and certain things still on a paper. We certainly have issues on how to get all the data at a single place. And this is where you need EMR which is able to talk to all the systems of the hospital. And this is where one of the major issue comes. Normally when we think about EMR, you talk about something which is able to print your prescription or your diagnosis or some minimal information about your consultation. But you need far more in a connected way. You will expect when you are talking about large hospital, every activity which is happening in a hospital should be able to come in a software, whether it is a patient accounting or doctor's fees being given. So doctor's account, because most of the hospitals will have doctors who are coming as a consultant, so those accounting also comes into picture. So all these processes, how do we bring in the single platform? And this is where we need to have certain things, that your EMR must have a very fast selection procedures. If you think about writing everything, it becomes difficult. EMR should have also a feature that you have a list errors. So, like certain medication. Now, if a medication is being prescribed to a pregnant lady, then whatever is not available, software should block you. This is the way the software should help you in your decision making. And this is one of the things where improvements can be done. Now, for any software of this nature to be effective, what will be required? That you have a complete feedback from the doctors and other stakeholders who are going to be using it. And this is one area where generally the expectation is you have something ready. While I will say that EMR is one thing which cannot fit in for all hospitals, it has to fit to the requirement of each and every in a separate, customized way. And this is one of the things which many ready-made EMR softwares, you have features in the software which can do this kind of blocking, do a better intelligence support. You also can have a multilingual support, like prescription being printed in language a patient understands. Otherwise, it will become difficult. You generally have various medicament which you like to prescribe in a certain duration and certain time. Now, everything should come automatically. You just need to be checking on that. There is one more thing is connecting to your radiology, your pathology, all this kind of things. Normally, otherwise, which happens, that X-ray is taken and then you keep on waiting for your X-ray to come in. And that is what delays the decision. Today, we are on a digital era. Your X-ray machines are digital. They need not to be waiting instantly within few seconds. The X-ray can be available to the doctor and further process can be started. So what is needed, that all such things need to be connected to the medical record of the patient immediately and available to the doctor for further decisions. You also need patient to come up for follow-ups. You need them to be coming to the hospital for removal of some stents or certain follow-up procedures. Now, these are the areas where good EMR can help you by auto-generating SMS or sending emails to doctor as well as to the patient. Because both of them need to know that certain implants which has been put in a patient's body need to be removed, and these alerts are very important. You can have a very transparent queue management system so that you can easily manage your patient flow. You should know how many patients which are who are waiting outside, from how much time. So these are kind of things which are expected from electronic medical record systems. And then you need a complete integration for a hospital, whether it is the hospital inventory system, or you have a ward, or you have accounting, and your HR, payroll. All aspects need to be integrated, and this is where you find that most of the systems today keep lacking, and they are not able to adapt to the requirements. And that is why you need some systems which can be very flexible, which can adjust to the flows, business processes of your hospital. And many times people think about, and many places now, economical solutions which have been available, which are available through cloud. So question is whether one should go for cloud-based solution. As on today, cloud-based solutions for IT service provider is a very cheap way to give you this solution. But what happens when you do not have an internet? If there is any internet failure, you cannot close down the hospital because you do not have an internet. Or you cannot close down your consulting room because you don't have an internet. So these are the kind of questions which one needs to think. We need to also think about the way other processes of connecting your pharmacy to the thing, your consulting, so that when patient goes to the medical store, he should be able to get immediately what you have prescribed. They are not supposed to be dependent on paper procedures. And what is my recommendation for an EMR is that we should be able to work completely paperless. We should be able to manage all the processes in the system to reduce the error rate, because we have seen that there are many times, in spite of your good interest, mistakes do happen, and blunders at times happen in a hospital, and this can be avoided if we have a lot of things which are attached, like everywhere patient photographs should be available, so that if the patient is coming in the operating theater, you know that the right patient has come in. We also need to know about all the history at the time. So these are some of the factors. Then we also need certificates to be issued, consents to be taken, all these kind of processes. We need to see that they are handled very well. So these are some of the expected lists of the things, and what all we can be connecting to the hospital, like your employee management, your HR, attendance, expense management, of course, pharmacy, as I talked about, your procurement in a pharmacy, purchase analysis, and finally, when you have got all the data in the system, analysis, business intelligence. So when we go for a solution which has got flexibility and support for BI, we can do a lot of analysis and come to a conclusion for the better decision making. So these are some aspects. These are not what I'm... Now, one of the things, like one of the platform which I have been recommending, this is a ERP-based platform. Why we select a particular kind of thing is open source. When you are taking any proprietary solution, suppose I am a provider and I have given you one solution, and tomorrow our relations are spoiled, what do? You are stuck with me, which is what I have seen many people have been facing this issue. And that is where we suggest always that you go for some of the open source solution where you must have access to the source code, so that in case of your problem with a service provider not being existing or in a dispute, still you are able to handle those situations.
So 1 moment.
Okay. And then, these are the parts I can, when you are going for open source kind of solutions, you have a advantage that you have a no license cost. So when you are expanding in the numbers, you can always manage it far better. This is something about my contact information, and this is the areas where we have been operating as on today. Thank you very much.